It's the car park. I just came up a huge bank from the motor camp. I thought it was close. It's actually, wow, it's a good 500 meters to that embankment by the time you get to the top of it. But then here it is, what's it beach? St Kilda. I wonder who she killed here. She killed somebody here. Maybe it's St Killer. Because Kilda sounds Irish, but I don't know. Someone's left their clothes there. Bloody hell. Some people couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery, leaving their clothes like that. So some kids got no clothes. Now that's what I call a beach. Looks like a real good North Island West Coast beach. Well, better, because the West Coast beach is always black sand. But that is a reasonably dangerous beach, but I've seen worse. Where the waves are low, that's where it's ripping. See where the waves are flattening out? They normally rip in at least a couple of places. Normally somewhere middle and somewhere at each end, depending on what the tide is and how much is coming in. And that's what's sitting just to the north of us. And see how fast it's going? At the moment it's still not quite northwest. To me that's more west. So I think it's about to swing. So we're looking good to the south, but that ain't where the weather's coming from. That's what happened last night. It started out great, and then by the time I got to the foothills over close to Dunedin, the rain came, and then it just wasn't heavy, but you know, visibility got low and my glasses fogged because I had my mask on to stop myself from getting too crook with my breathing. Check it out. I'm playing some sort of game here. Cool, eh? Well, I think we have to come back here quite soon, because this alone is worth chucking up that tent. It's not a boat beach, and by any means that's a surf beach. So you can get out there with a surfboard. If you're real good, you can take a kayak. The sit-on one's a bit easier because they don't sink. But yeah, launching boats out there, you got to be flipping good. You need to be going out there at low tide or high tide. Normally high tide the waves drop a bit, but at the moment it's in the middle, so you're going to get some decent waves, and you got a bit of wind. The wind offshore there is going to cause these waves to get bigger, but at the moment it's blowing that way. See how the clouds all, see it's got like, see the cloud, the top's the cloud. My dad showed me this years ago. So that's like it's shearing off. That's what it did last night, and then it kind of started coming backwards, and it worked its way back towards the coast as the wind died. And when the wind finally stopped, the weather came, you know, and then the wind swung the other way, and it started coming from slightly from the southwest. I don't know what the wind directions are here, but they might get southeast, because Dunedin's actually exposed to the south. See, I think the south is actually down there. It's not down there. So these guys, this is nearly a south-facing beach. So that gets a bit confusing. That's why you got to watch out. It's like Oridi Beach, south-facing. So it's great until it really turns to shit, and then that beach will take you down. If you take a boat out one of those channels or rivers in, you know, you're going to hit some huge swells, and a westerly as well can affect it. You also get it on a westerly. But yeah, I'm impressed, and shit, man, it goes a long way. That's like a beach. If you're in the Pacific Islands, you would call that a beach, wouldn't you? Beautiful. And it looks, there's not a whole lot of houses overlooking it. They're all up there. I love that they didn't let them build here, so the rich people aren't like clogging it up with all their shit. So that's great. But it is a dune, which they would have trouble building on that. I think that's probably what really stopped them. And you'll find if you go further down, and maybe around the point they're probably building there. Yeah, here comes the rain, but it's sunny. So it's sunny here, but I'm starting to get rained on. Yeah, see, it's coming back. See, the wind's dying, and that's, see, that slowed down now. And as that slows down, that is going to start coming. And that's going to be here soon, but I'll get some footage before that happens. And then I'll go up top and quickly walk back. The only other thing I noticed is a lot of hoons up in the car park there. Noisy shitbox Toyotas and whatever. And the big revs, and the, you know, they've ripped out their mufflers. The cars are just gutless 2 litres, but they think they're flipping Mario Andretti, you know, driving a V12, but really they're driving, if they're lucky, 150 kilowatts, 200 maybe, I doubt. Unless they've spent a whole lot of money. If it's a Skyline, well, that's different. They, you know, anything turboed Skyline starts at 200, but they're only allowed to go to 206 in Japan, so they have to sort of under quote the figures. I think it's 206 kilowatt, and after that they get, I think they just made it legal. And look, our mates are here. They're everywhere. I see them all day, every day. What are they up to? What are you up to? Don't you get wet? They're out there. There's a big skewer, like the ones I attracted to the balcony of the daffodil place. We won't say its proper name. Where the flowers are. See the log? It's about ready to move. And he's going to have a look at that log and see if there's any food in it. He's like, ooh, that could be some food there. See that? What they're doing is looking for little crabs. See the holes? So the crabs and little shellfish are there. And they're breathing. The tide comes in and then they'll pop out. When the tide comes in, out they come. It could be pippies, it could be crabbies. And it looks pristine enough that I think there will be heaps of them. When you see a beach with sand this clean, you guarantee there'll be a lot of shellfish under there. But normally you get the most, you go down to the low tide. When it's low tide, you go as deep as you can go, and then you start digging with your feet. Yeah, see that surf's not that great, and it's like that. I could boogie board that all day long, but you need a wetsuit because it's pushing it. It's not cold, but obviously it's not great. But the waves, as that wind picks up, they clean up a bit. But when the wind drops, they will go a bit more dirty. But I mean, we've actually launched a boat in conditions similar to this, but shit, man, we had our A game on that day, and you know, the locals were like shaking their heads, but shit, there was 4 strong guys, and we spun that boat around quick for a beach takeoff. You know, it was moored, it came in, and we spun it round, threw all that shit on in the shallows, and then I think I was the last one on, and then we're into it. But that had a 140, and you know, it was we were serious about getting out there to fish, and we went mucking around. That's beautiful. If I keep walking that way, eventually, if you walk far enough, probably 30-40 kilometers, you would walk into the rain. I think that's up by shit, maybe Shag Point, is it? Maybe it's up there. It's definitely at Oamaru, but I think it's closer than that. I think we're talking 20k. It might even be those beaches that go in off the main highway, you know, where the peninsula is. Okay, I better sign off anyway. We've still got a bit of daylight, but it's going into that cloud. It's been overcast for the last, there's someone swimming there now, but there's no lifeguards. I think that's a foreigner swimming there. I don't think that's a local, because if it was a local, he'd have a boogie board or something. He's got no wetsuit on, so he's not a surfer, and hopefully he's got the common sense to not go out there unless he can really swim, because the tide's coming in, which is good. You're not going to get ripped out as much, but there still is a slight rip. See how it's curling the waves over? So about every 400 meters there's another bit where it's pulling out. See, it's over there. See how the waves are smoother there? See there, it's ripping out a little bit there. Luckily he's not going into that spot, so yeah, he's only in the shallows, so I think it'd be good. Yeah, I could probably rescue him, but you know, I haven't done swimming for a long time. But once upon a time I could have saved his ass, no problem. I used to swim at Muriwai when it was huge, when only the surfers were out, because I didn't have my boogie board back then. The boogie board with flippers, man, I could go faster through the water, catch bigger waves than the surfers, because you could get up more speed through the water. So I could we took on some big waves, Andrew as well. And then we taught ourselves drop knee in one day when we hired a proper solid bottom board. We couldn't afford to buy one, they were expensive. And before the end of the day we were drop kneeing, which is, you don't stand up like a surfer, but you go up on one knee. 1 foot in front, knee bent, and one knee down, but you're up on this short board and you're moving. It feels really fast because it's so short. Okay, I think I will leave this to when we come back here, and we're going to do a nice walk here, and we're going to do this properly, and I'll sign off for now.